Welcome along to my 31 days of May running challenge, and I bet you can't guess how my challenge started. So once again, welcome along. Here's a roundup of my first week of my 31 days of May running challenge. If you can remember, so the challenge itself is to knock a minute off my parkrun time and go sub 20 sometime at parkrun before June the 3rd. So today I'm out doing an interval session, which I'll tell you about in a second. But how did I start this challenge? What did I do on day one? Well, day one I went through the training plan, see what I had to do, working out how much time I had to invest in the plan and when I could get out and do these runs. Because it's all right saying you're doing these challenges, but how much time can you give up to train for those challenges? With a marathon, we obviously know it's a 16-week period for the training block. You've got to do a lot of work. So first of all, for this challenge, it was sit down and work out, can I get the sessions done? So that's a positive. And my first session on day one, on May the 1st, was a rest day. I'd done a 90-minute long run the day before at about 8:30 pace, so I was feeling a little bit tired. So I just did what the body told me to do, and that was take a rest. Which brings us to today. I'm out on the prom at Blackpool, just leaving Little Bispam, heading towards Norbreck. And I'm down here to do an interval session. The reason I'm down here is obviously it's flat, it's straight, and most importantly it's traffic free. So I'm not going to have to stop for street corners or anything like that. I can do the interval and I can go for as long as the distance is necessary. So today it's 5 times 1 kilometre at a 6:25 pace. 6:25 is the pace you need to get that sub 20 parkrun time. So it's 5 times 1 kilometre at my goal pace basically, and we give 2 to 3 minutes jog recovery between each one of those repeats. But before that, it's just do a mile nice and easy. I'm halfway through this session, and the 2 extra kilos that I'm carrying that I've put on since Boston, I can feel them. I can also feel the humidity today. It's overcast. I knew it was warm, but I didn't think it'd be this humid, so I am absolutely melting. So I'm giving you all the excuses of why I'm running rubbish times, all right? So I'm sweating like crazy and I feel overweight. But hey, that's why we train, so we can get better, so we can drop some weight and we can get faster. So halfway through the session, I'll come back to you at the end. Now the thing to remember is you don't walk away from every session saying that was brilliant, I felt good. Sometimes they are absolutely rubbish. I hated every single step of that session. I feel overweight, I feel tired, I feel sluggish, I feel I've got no energy, but I've done it. I've put the split times up on the screen now. I was aiming to do 6:35 miles, 6:35 pace, but as you can see, averaged about 6:50, so not too far off what I was doing. First one was good and the last one was rubbish, you know, when you get tired and you know you're near the end. But overall, 6:50 pace. It's about where I am at the moment. If you look at my 5k parkrun times, they are around that 6:50, 6:55 minute pace. So that's where I am, and that's where I need to improve. So today, the takeaway is that was the baseline. That was drawing the line. That's where I'm at, and that's where I've got to improve from. If I hadn't have done it, I wouldn't know. So that, for that reason, this session has been of benefit, even though I'm tired and I feel awful and hated every minute of it. But as I say, they're not always easy. Right, it's day 4 of the 31 days of May. Just to bring you up to date, on Tuesday, after I did that interval session that I showed you on the video there, I went out and did a club run, another 5.5 miles. So I rested yesterday on Wednesday because I did that club run on a Tuesday night. I think that ticked the box for doing the run on the Wednesday. However, Wednesday I was feeling a little bit stiff in my right leg towards the top, round the groin area, just to the back of the groin area. So it's a good job I had yesterday off, and I've just been out this morning now to do 6 times 800 meters interval session. And basically I've bailed on it because of that stiffness in the top of my leg. I've just done 1.5 miles, and whilst it's not causing any problems at a slow speed, I can feel it, but it's not causing me any issues at a slow speed, I've decided to bail on the session and take the rest of the today as a rest day, and if things improve, go out tomorrow and do that interval session. As I say, it's not causing any problems at a low speed, so I could probably go out and run 5-6 miles without any issue, but I'm erring on the side of caution, and I'm going home. So 1.5 miles, that'll do for today. So I'll let you know how I feel tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be able to get that session done. But this is the thing about a plant, they're not set in stone, they are fluid, you can move them about. So we've got an issue today, we'll move the interval session to tomorrow and see what happens. So take the rest of today as a rest day. That's it. I'll see you on day 5. Right, Saturday the 6th. Friday I didn't run. I took it as a rest day because I think, well, I know I am definitely carrying a bit of a knock. So I'm going to carry on running, but I don't think I'll be pushing as hard as I need to. So it's Saturday morning, waiting for a lift, off to park run. We'll see how we do there. Right, update on this park run. I got 0.25 of a mile into it, running for about 2.5 minutes, and I pulled up. This knock I'm carrying, I could feel it before I started, but then it just really did twinge and felt really sharp pain, so immediately stopped, and I'm walking back. So this 31 day challenge of May might not happen. So I'm going to rest it up now for a few days because we've got Interclub on Thursday next week, and I want to be ready for that. So a few days enforced rest, I think. Find out what's wrong with this leg. Right. So yeah, first time ever pulled out of a run. It happens. Keep smiling. Right, so here we are, 24 hours on from that park run that you just saw then, and to be honest, I'm injured. Must have overdone it at some point. Got this injury. It's towards the rear of the groin, near to the quads area, and I felt it really stiffen very quickly on that park run, so that's why I just pulled up and walked back, which was the right thing to do. So now I'm going to continue with this 31 day challenge. I'm still going to try by the end of May to run a sub 20 park run, but we're adding a little twist to it now. We've got to recover in this period as well and get back to running. So we're still going to try and get there, and hopefully we can, but I'm going to lose at least a week. That's the decision I've made, and the way I've felt over the last 24 hours. I'm going to give it at least a week to recover. We've entered the RICE mode, as they say: rest, ice, compression, elevation, doing all those things to try and help recover from this injury. Got the foam roller out, and we're just going to work on it, give it some TLC, and see if we can get that pain to go away and hopefully be pain free by next week. So yeah, that's the first challenge, and then the other challenge is to get to that sub 20 park run. This week coming up was going to be, well, it is the Interclub run on Thursday, but I've already got it into my mind now that, yeah, forget that. There will be others. We'll pick up the other series in the Interclub later on this year. So I'm going to give that a miss to give me a little bit longer recovery. Next Sunday, I've got a club championship race. It's a 10k, and I would really like to try and participate in that, even if I just go and run it very slow time for me. But that's the aim, to try and recover enough to run that race next Sunday. So yeah, that's how we are. Currently injured. We've got a plan to recover, and we've got a running plan to try and get back to achieving this sub 20 within 31 days. So what you should do Subscribe now, turn on the bell notification so you find out every time we upload new running videos, and if you could give this video a thumbs up, give us a like, that will help this channel grow immensely. Right, so while I go off to sulk about my present condition, you can watch how I did in the Amsterdam Marathon last year.